clue. The last video. Mr. Body was found in the study. Miss Scarlet the key. She was seen with the rope. Would she have used it? This murder mystery on Super Nintendo will be the last murder mystery on Super Nintendo on this channel. This time on Detective. Now we're taking it to the extreme with 6 players. Play as Professor Plum against everyone else who is the computer opponent. You ready? Ready to go extreme? Okay, so now I just gotta see my cards. Okay, so the detective version. Okay, so I did say in the last video, if you have seen it, that the reason I have been making accusations and suggestions at certain moments, only at certain moments, it's because I've played the game enough to find that a certain suspect only uses a certain weapon. Like Colonel Mustard and Professor Plum, they only use either the knife or the rope. Mr. Green and Mrs. Peacock only use either the candlestick or the lead pipe. And she suggested Miss Scarlet with the candlestick. That's not what I was going to say, but I am pointing that out. Miss Scarlet and Mrs. White only use either the revolver or the wrench. Miss Scarlet did not have the candlestick. Good for her. So one thing you'll have to get the hang of is that you have to guess the correct suspect and weapon combination. You have to guess the correct suspect, weapon, and room combination in order to get a positive clue. Otherwise, you just get stuck with a negative clue. Did Mrs. White have the lead pipe? No, she did not. Okay. So Mrs. White's suggestion was that it was Mr. Green with a lead pipe. Man, people are going crazy with these suggestions. I wonder what's going to be next. So Green was not in the dining room. Okay, so I guess Mr. Green's making his suggestion. I wonder what's going to be next. Oh, Mrs. Peacock. Let me guess the next one's going to be Professor Plum with something. Let's see if Mrs. Peacock got the rope. Okay. Now it's Mrs. Peacock's turn. Let me guess. Professor Plum. Nope. Back to Mr. Green with the rope. So we asked 2 suspects about the rope. So in the study we enter, I believe it was Mrs. White with the wrench. So Mrs. White was not in the study. This is definitely going to take many parts, because you're going to have to pick up so many clues. I have no idea why you didn't go 6. So she thinks it was Miss Scarlet with a lead pipe. I'm going to take the secret passage to the kitchen, where I suggest it was Mr. Green with the candlestick. So the candlestick was not in the kitchen? So what's Miss Scarlet's suggestion? Mr. Green with the lead pipe. Alright. So the lead pipe was not in the study. So he's going back to the dining room. He thinks it was Professor Plum with a knife? Man. Now he gets to Professor Plum. I was not even in the dining room, though. You're mad. I'm no killer. It would be surprising if I went and I was the killer. Miss Scarlet with the lead pipe. Not in the hall. Mr. Green's suggestion was that it was Professor Plum with the rope. You wanna know how I was able to get through it all so fast? Magic edit. Colonel Mustard with the rope. So Colonel Mustard was in the dining room. So Mustard was in the dining room, huh? I'm gonna ask about Professor Plum and the knife. So apparently the knife was in the study. So since I have the knife card, I know that it was not in the study. So Miss Scarlet's suggestion was that it was Miss Scarlet with the lead pipe. So the lead pipe was not in the hall. Mr. Green. So in the lounge, she says, Mrs. White with the revolver. Okay. This is definitely going to be a long game. I suggest it was Professor Plum with a rope. So, Colonel Mustard, in the dining room, Mr. Green with a lead pipe. You know you were in there, Colonel. Okay. So, Mrs. White. You say Mrs. White with the wrench. So, Mr. Green, you know Mustard was in there. You're just saying other people. So Mr. Green did not have the knife. The conservatory, she would suggest Professor Plum with the rope. Can I make my suggestion? I think it was Mrs. Peacock with a lead pipe. Please tell me if you had the lead pipe or not. Very well. So if you listen to what each suspect had, what each suspect would use, then you would know the lead pipe was not the murder weapon. Mr. Green with a wrench. Bum, bum. He did not have the wrench. So the lounge, he says Mrs. Peacock with the revolver. Let's hope this video doesn't take too long. Okay. So, Mrs. Peacock with the knife. Did she have it or not? Oh. Okay. Okay, so now we just need to know if the knife was held by Professor Plum. So what's your suggestion, Mr. Green? Colonel Mustard with the rope? We've already established that Mustard was not in the study. It was in the dining room. You can't be two places at once. No, let's go to the lounge. Let's suggest Professor Plum with the knife. We get that the knife was not even in the stupid lounge. So Miss Scarlet with a knife in the kitchen. Okay, we've already established the knife was not in the kitchen. So quit making these ridiculous suggestions. So Mustard, please suggest me. So you're saying yourself with a knife. We get it! The knife was in there, Mustard was not. Stop making stupid suggestions. Have you not been paying attention to the clues or something? So you say Miss Scarlet with the lead pipe. At least these guys are smart. Does she have it or not? So after the next clue, we will cut off the video. If we get to the next clue. So the hall. Looks like we're getting our next clue right there. Professor Plum with the rope. What's happening? So the rope was not in the hall. See you guys.